It's PvE time.
It's PV Nugget time. Whether you're a lonely adventurer or you run with a guild of 300 players, we have something for you. We'll be discussing Tamriel in further detail. This week we will be going over Cold Harbor, the starting zones, questing, quest layering, leveling, grouping, companions, dungeons, adventure zones, and much more. This time on Elder Scrolls Off the Tongue, Player versus Environment. Hey, it's Human Overclock.
Hey guys, this is Stench. Welcome back to RatzCast. Can't believe this is our 4th video already.
I finally got moved in my new place this week. Finally got a lot more free time to do what I need to do and get more videos out.
Oh, nice.
Even got a Facebook page up. Hopefully people come by and check it out. The only other thing I've really been working on besides working on this episode is working on getting more information for The Witcher 3.
So yeah, we'll definitely have a video regarding The Witcher 3 very soon. Speaking of The Witcher, you know, I still have this copy of Witcher 2 in my Steam account. Maybe we can give that away.
Oh yeah, you really want to do that?
I already have a copy. You have a copy.
Okay, so I guess we're going to be doing a giveaway. Awesome.
Glad you agree. So at the end of the video, you'll be able to find out how you can obtain this or win this copy of Witcher 2.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'll definitely be there.
You're not eligible. What's our topic today? What are we going to discuss?
PvE.
Yeah.
So I think in order to start this off right, I think we're going to have to go a little bit more in depth on the story this time.
Oh, that's fine.
It's a long story. It's an epic tale of adventure and heroism. Molag Bal began his grand scheme in the year 574 of the Second Era to weaken the barrier between Nirn and Oblivion and merge them into a single nightmarish hellscape. The ruling nobles in the Imperial City are the Tharns, and they are weak. The current occupant of the Ruby Throne in the Imperial City is Clivia Tharn, the daughter of Abner Tharn, who is the Chancellor of the Elder Council. Abner Tharn is a battle mage. His family has been secret Daedra worshippers for generations. He sees the threat of the three alliances against the Imperial City, so he turns to his family's old allies, the Daedra, and Molag Bal's main agent on Tamriel, the necromancer Lord Manamarco. An arcane explosion of energy in the Imperial City set off mystical aftershocks that swept across Nirn. Mages died or went mad. The Daedra, supernatural abominations from the plane of Oblivion, appeared in greater numbers than ever before. The alliances gained knowledge of Abner Tharn's Daedric connections and move in to wipe his family out of the Imperial City and take the throne. Three armies go head-to-head against the Empire and against each other to take control of the Imperial City and the White Gold Tower from the dark forces of Oblivion itself. In the midst of this chaos, your soul was stolen by Molag Bal, and you're trying to get it back. You make your choice to join one of these three alliances to aid you in your cause. But death is only an obstacle, as you can't eternally die without a soul.
Oh, okay, hold up. Let me get this straight. So Molag Bal has stolen the souls of his enemies.
Yeah, pretty much.
So his enemies are waging war against him, and since he took the souls, his enemies can't die.
Yeah.
Molag Bal is not very smart.
He is a Daedra. I mean, their minds don't work like our minds. They're stupider.
Well, that explains everything.
They underestimate the power of the Tamrielian souls. Escaping Cold Harbor, Molag Bal's Plane of Oblivion serves as a tutorial zone in the Elder Scrolls Online, which tells the backstory and helps players become familiar with the game's mechanics.
For the Daggerfall Covenant, the provinces of High Rock, Sentinel, and Orsinium stand as one, united under the rule of High King Emmerich in Wayrest. Valenwood and elsewhere have forged an alliance of their own with Somerset Isles to join the Eldmeri Dominion under the rule of Queen Aerin. Blackmarsh, Morrowind, and Skyrim have formed the Ebonheart Pact, an uneasy alliance under Joran the Skald King. The starting zone for Eldmeri Dominion will be Khenarthi's Roost, an island off the south of Valenwood. The Daggerfall Covenant starts off in Strathmakai, an island off the southwest coast of Hammerfell, which was featured in the 1998 action RPG The Elder Scrolls Adventures, Redguard. And lastly, Bleak Rock Isle is the starting zone for Ebonheart Pact, which is an island off the north coast of Skyrim. Enarthi's Roost and Bleak Rock Isle are two locations being featured for the first time in ESO.
So I actually got a chance to play Redguard. I actually have it sitting on my computer at the moment.
It took a little bit of work to get that running, huh?
Yeah, a lot of work within DOSBox to get it running right. Now, I'm assuming that Kynarthi's Roost is going to be like flowers and woods and stuff like that. You know, the Somerset Isles.
Yeah, I mean, we have already seen screenshots of Strathmakai in the gameplay footage. So it's all deserty and sandy. Yeah, except PAX, I know they got to play Strathmakai.
But I'm really looking forward to Bleak Rock Isle. From what I can see in the gameplay footage, that it's going to be like an isle made out to look like Skyrim.
Ice, snow, frozen dirt.
Very blue.
Things like that, yeah.
So I guess I'm going to have to make me a really heavy coat and get ready for the winter.
You and me both.
Alright, let's move on to questing. Quests have multiple bestowers that may give the same quest or may lead you to the quest giver. So it doesn't matter where you go in a town, one way or another, you're going to find the main quest, you're going to find side quests. You'll have speechcraft options when you pick up these quests and start talking to the quest givers, and that may enable different routes through the quest dialogue.
Yeah, like how we talked and Hope was in it before. You know, that you could speechcraft, you can level it up, it will give you more options.
I'm actually so glad that they're putting this in there because from what I've heard, it could even allow you to, for lack of a better term, short circuit certain parts of the quest dialogue so you can bypass certain obstacles.
Like quests?
Yeah, like say you need information out of somebody and rather than having to go do a certain objective for them to actually get that information, like you help me, I help you sort of thing, you can use speechcraft, which you could intimidate them into actually giving you the information. Okay. Quest rewards are based off of your current class choice.
So you're probably going to get more axes and swords for a Dragon Knight.
Hidden quest objectives will present themselves to you as a quest progresses from point A to point B. So if I'm going along doing my quest, along the way, I may run across 10 rats that I didn't know that I necessarily had to kill, and that's how they incorporate the grinding quests into questing. It won't just say, go kill 10 rats, you know, that'll just be something you do along the way.
Do you have a choice of doing it or don't?
Yeah, you can actually bypass that stuff.
So pretty much kill everything.
Well, I mean, killing beasts gives you experience, so yeah, kill it all.
Yeah, I agree. If you're red, you're dead.
So yeah, there's no set paths for quest progression, but there's many points of interest that are linked together by a story arc in one set zone or area.
And these points of interest will appear?
The compass will show various points of interest similar to Skyrim as you travel across Tamriel.
Okay.
Exploration towards these points of interest, and just various exploration, is rewarded with quests, treasure chests, and even more backstory that ties into an area's arc story and the main storyline.
You're definitely being pushed to explore and do all that type of stuff because you'll be rewarded for it.
Yeah, they want you to go out there and find different ways of doing things or different places for doing things, and it's still all going to tie you back into the same continuing story.
Oh, nice. Just makes you feel like you're not going in that straight line.
Yeah, I hate walking into a quest hub and picking up every single quest that I can possibly find and then going out here, okay, from here to point A, and find out my best route to finish each particular quest.
Yeah.
It made going through and playing areas when I made alts extremely boring. In this type of gameplay, I may even miss a lot of stuff, mainly because there's so much out there to find that is not intentionally directed towards.
Yeah.
So some of the points of interest are, from what they say, around 30 to 45 minute segments if it's a quest, and those quests are even going to have rewards themselves, while other points of interest show you unexplored areas with treasures or backstory. So you may stumble upon a cave, a really short cave, that has like a dead skeleton and a treasure chest, with a note by the dead skeleton that says, you know,
I'm dead. Here's my belongings over yonder. Go find them.
Yeah. This treasure is cursed. So, in other MMOs, there was this thing called phasing.
Mm-hmm.
which really broke the ability to play with another player.
Here's a first-hand example. Remember when I came back to WoW for Cataclysm, and you had already been leveling for a while. I think you were 3 levels ahead of me. You try to come back and help me level.
Yeah.
There would be like instances of I wouldn't see you for like a good 15 minutes while I was doing quests.
Oh yeah, I'd have to sit off to the side and wait for you to finish because I couldn't see you. We could still talk to each other through the chat system, but that was it. I couldn't even help you.
Yeah, it was really bad. So ZOS is using something similar to phasing as WoW did, but they're calling it layering. So players may experience a modified version of the towns, dungeons, and NPCs depending on their progression through the game's different story arcs. So the good thing is layering will not prevent you from playing with your friends.
Amen to that.
Yeah, you will just see things differently than your friends. Say something happens in your quest line where a town's burning. You might see it charred.
Or I might not even see anything really happening to it.
Yeah, so because maybe you stopped the village from being set ablaze, so it's not charred up or burnt down.
Which would provide some interesting conversations through gameplay, I will say that.
So say if you have already completed a quest line and I'm going to need help going through it, or you want to come and join me, you will still be able to quest with me. So since it's like resetting for you.
That's pretty cool. So even if you got a quest line, you can experience it in different ways.
Right. But I'm not sure if it's going to change from your first time you've done it.
Well, at any rate, I'm just all glad that we're going to be able to quest together again outside the PvP zones.
Yeah, especially with new friends, you know?
I know what you mean. And when we were questing in Twilight Highlands, there was so many times that you wanted to meet new people and stuff like that, and you couldn't because you couldn't really group up. You had to ask them, like, what phase of the quest line are you on?
Yeah, you're like 8 quests away from me.
Yeah, let me wait till you catch up. That was horrible.
Yeah.
Players will be able to level up to a max of level 50, and they'll be able to gain experience by questing and slaying monsters and exploring the world. If you go to these points of interest and once you come upon them, you'll actually be getting experience for visiting them.
And of course, mentioning again that doesn't stop at level 50. You still got 2 other factionaries to pick and choose which ones you want to do.
Yes.
That brings in, of course, again, more skills.
So at this point, let me ask you a question. When you get to level 50, and I think we're both pretty much on accounts that our first character is going to be Ebonheart Pact. So once you get to level 50, which way are you going to go if you continue on outside of Cyrodiil?
I'm going to Morrowind.
Well, Morrowind is part of the Ebonheart Pact.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm going to space.
Aldmeri Dominion or the Daggerfall Covenant? Now, granted, Aldmeri Dominion, it's a lot of elves, and the Daggerfall Covenant's the orcs and the Redguards. And
you know, I already thought about this, and I'm going to have to go with the Aldmeri Dominion.
Really? Not me. We will be splitting up at that point.
Okay.
I want to see the mountains.
I want to save the best for last. Kind of want to knock out the desert off the bat. Just don't like deserts.
Vast wasteland of sand and doom.
Yeah, I've got enough of that from other MMOs.
I understand that. Are you talking about Star Wars?
Yeah, that too.
Oh god, it was horrible.
Star Wars and WoW.
Well, the cool thing is it gives you the option, but what I'm wondering is, once you pick a certain area, are you able to back out of it, or do you have to finish it before you can move on to the next area?
You have to finish it. Well, the way it was said is that you go there, you pick it, and then move on to the next after that's been finished. That's what I'm thinking.
So you can't just skip and mix match and move around and stuff?
It would be nice to.
I'll have to wait and see. There's certain areas I'd like to not quest in, you know?
Yeah. I mean, from the wording, that's what I got from it.
Like you have to finish the main storyline before you can move on to the next area. Something along those lines.
Probably a certain percentage of it.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Speaking of questing together,
grouping. The loot will be given to each person who participated in the kill. There will be an increase in experience and rewards for grouping up. And this is different from other MMOs, you know, specifically WoW again, where experience was lowered and rewards were split.
Yeah, I remember actually going into instance dungeons even.
Yeah, everything in instance dungeons were shared, or you got only a certain percentage depending on how many people are in the group.
And I'm also wondering, let's say I am a level 50 and you're level 20. If I come and help you kill mobs and stuff, is your experience going to be lowered?
I think it will be. You can one-shot a mob.
That's true.
Even if you're not in a group, finishing objectives with other players will earn both players credit, and there will no longer be fighting over loot, with each player being rewarded based on their class decisions. So ninjas are going to be a thing of the past.
So they'll even get something out of a kill.
You can see a lot of players being like little stowaways, hidden in the back, behind you, tagging mobs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know what you mean.
Yeah, but now, even though they're helping you, it's just like, how many mobs can you tag?
So you get 1 copper because you hit one time. Something along those lines.
Yeah.
Your rewards for killing monsters are also based on your finesse in the game as well.
That's true too.
So if you are one of those players who just like to come in and bop a few hits off, you're not going to get as much rewards as the person that actually did more to put that mob down.
Right, exactly. You're going to get companions. In Star Wars, The Old Republic.
Oh, yeah.
Big thing I remember about those companions, they all looked the same.
Yeah, they were pretty darn similar.
I'm not the person that really cared. It's more of a vanity thing, I guess.
Yeah, and companions is a really big thing in single-player RPGs. And when Star Wars tried to implement them into their game, they didn't do a really good job of making sure that you could tell whose companion was whose. So in Elder Scrolls Online, when you have a companion from a quest or something like that, you're not going to have companions following you along that are yours, but you're going to receive companions that you might be using for a particular quest. And those companions won't all look exactly the same. If I have a companion, you have a companion, to me, your companion will probably look like a Khajiit. And to you, my companion would probably look like an Argonian, even though it's the same companion from the same quest.
They just might have different armor on.
That's true.
So, maybe different colored scales. You know how much I love those Argonians. Female Argonians with all the scales in the right spots. I'm not ashamed.
That would be. Okay, let's move on to dungeons. Similar to Skyrim, there will be caves and ruins known as public dungeons scattered across Tamriel. Public dungeons can be entered by anyone, and everyone will be able to see each other, which will help you group up together or just help each other out. There will be 16 4-man instance dungeons available at launch, plus public dungeons. On subsequent runs, you will be able to skip all the story content and grind out bosses and mini-bosses to your heart's content. Once a player reaches level 50, the instance dungeon converts to a more challenging version of the dungeon. Inside the converted dungeon, the stories and bosses will be new, the layouts will change in various degrees, requiring you to take a different path. There are a large number of public dungeons within Cyrodiil as well, which will combine exciting PvE storylines with the challenge and danger of encountering hostile player opposition within. In addition, Zenimax Online Studios is working to develop a mega dungeon, reminiscent of Darkness Falls from Dark Age of Camelot, where the access to the dungeon will depend on your faction's success in the Realm War.
Yeah, this will not be available at launch.
No, I never played Dark Age of Camelot, so I don't really know what to expect. Is it going to be one massive open dungeon where hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people can come in?
So say in Dark Age of Camelot, you collected these artifacts, and once you collected them, Darkness Fall would be open towards your faction. And then you're able to go down there and do the PvE, new bosses, new gear.
Gotcha. Well, I wonder if it'll be similar to that, as where you will have to take control, like you said, of getting artifacts and holding them to unlock the dungeon. I wonder if they'll do the same thing with the actual Elder Scrolls.
And if people have not played Dark Age of Camelot, it's something similar to Whole Brad. After the big battle, if you won,
oh, okay,
you got access to the PvE area.
But they're not going to be logging it off from people like they did in Tolbarad, where you could sit outside the entrance to the dungeon, but you couldn't go in. In this, you'll be able to actually go in, or was that just the way it was in Dark Age of Camelot?
Yeah, it was locked. Say my faction was Hibernian. We got access to it, and we were down there doing our mob killing and whatnot. Out in the RVR zones, say Midgard takes the relics again. They get access. Once that opened up to them, they were allowed to come in, and usually it was like a big slaughter.
They come in and wipe you out while you were still in the middle of it.
Right.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah.
Kind of like trying to defend your right to actually be in that dungeon.
Right. But since they had it and you died, you pretty much had to leave. You couldn't get back in. You had to go back out to the RVR zone or PvP zone and grab the relics again.
Okay, so that was pretty much the endgame content in Tol Barad for PvP. But the endgame content in the PvE section of Elder Scrolls Online are the adventure zones.
Adventure zones are areas that will open up beyond level 50 to give high-level PvEers something to play with. These are massive open PvE areas. They are designed for larger groups of PvE players. You can go into the adventure zone with a small group and accomplish some goals, but there are larger in these maps dedicated for larger group experiences. There will be some warning when you're about to trigger one of these encounters.
I'd imagine kind of like in Rift, there was world bosses, and it would say you are joining a world boss.
Yeah, an encounter.
Yeah. So within all these dungeons and adventure zones, there's going to be a whole lot of creatures.
The game's creatures will have a similar movement and abilities as other Elder Scrolls series games, but will utilize a reactive combat system. There are combat markers to help with finesse when fighting creatures. Mobs performing power attacks will have a yellow glow encouraging you to block. Mobs that are performing a channel attack will have a red glow which will encourage you to interrupt.
Creatures that are in Morrowind and ESO will be the same creatures that are in Morrowind from the Elder Scrolls 3, and similar with Skyrim and Oblivion.
You'll find Skyrim mobs still in the area of Skyrim in ESO.
Yeah. Same way with Oblivion. All the mobs that you saw specific to Cyrodiil, you will find in Cyrodiil. Some of the already known creatures that have been in previous videos that I have seen are the Spider Daedra, the Dremora. There's going to be giants, and Mario Aliprando has stated that these will be very hostile, unlike the giants we've seen in Skyrim.
Yeah, those things, they freaked me out, just the way they moved and grunted.
In Skyrim, you could walk up to them and they would stamp their feet at you.
Oh, really? You know, I never walked up to one. I just shot them or from a distance.
What she says in ESO is they are going to be like hardened barbarians. They will come after you.
Okay, I wonder if there's a backstory about them in the game.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious to know. There's going to be vampires, which have been in all the Elder Scrolls lore. There's going to be flesh Atronachs.
Those guys are sweet.
The first time I saw them was in the expansion for Oblivion, and they showed how they were put together, you know, on these stone slabs. And they grabbed a piece off a wall, like an arm and a leg and a head, and they built
them. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So you get to build your own in Oblivion. From a recent video we've seen, there's going to be the Orgrams from Morrowind. There's going to be the Dwemer constructs, spheres, and spiders. And the spiders, from what I've heard, will have a static field charge that charges up the other Dwemer creatures around them. There's going to be Drows. What I've always seen in past games is Drows are underwater creatures.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that.
And in the video that we saw, that there were going to be land Drows. Now, what I'm wondering is, because I didn't see any water Drows.
They probably just haven't shown them yet.
They may just be in Morrowind. Who knows? I did see that there's going to be Nyx Hounds and bandits as well, which bandits have always been around. Now, some of the newer creatures that are new to the IP. Balchu, an undead lieutenant werewolf. He's in charge of a bunch of werewolves. Also wolves that go around hunting in packs. And Maria did say that there's going to be 5 new types of Daedra included in ESO. One of which will be the Daedra Titans.
Yeah, you've seen those pictures. No, honestly, I want a big Daedra Titan like on my nerd wall.
Damn Daedra Titan, yeah. They'd be awesome. But Daedra Titans are servants of Molag Bal, and they're in charge of protecting all the souls in Cold Harbor. And they're gatekeepers of the Dark Angers, which you are trying to break down and keep them from taking Tamriel back to Cold Harbor. They are going to be elite monsters. It is going to be extremely hard to solo one, but it is possible.
NPC guilds will have ranks similar to Morrowind. Reaching a new rank within the Fighters or Mages guild will unlock new options, rewards, perks, and quests. The Fighting guild will focus on defeating and closing Dark Angers. Dark Angers, similar to Oblivion gates from the Elder Scrolls 4, are portals that open up in random places that attempt to pull Tamriel into Molag Bal's plane of Oblivion, Cold Harbor. Daedric guards called Titans will be guarding these Dark Angers. One thing about these Dark Anchors, I know from the story, yeah, they're pulling Tamriel to Cold Harbor, but it's just to destroy Tamriel. There's not going to be like a land of Tamriel in Cold Harbor.
I was kind of wondering how this is going to work myself. When these Oblivion gates would open, it was like a door opening into Oblivion, allowing all the Daedra to come flooding into Cyrodiil and wreaking havoc, which ultimately let Mehrunes Dagon come through, which is another Daedric prince.
From Oblivion, right?
Yeah. But in Elder Scrolls Online, I'm wondering, is it going to be more along those lines? It's sort of turning the land undead, so to speak? Or is it going to be like you say, it's ripping up this land and actually pulling it through?
Yeah.
Which would be kind of weird. Kind of like a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, pretty much. Maybe we're getting too technical on the whole idea.
Yeah, it could be, but I can see Molag Bal with his big Hoover vacuum cleaner, you know.
You and your sound effects, man. Well, continuing on, the Mages Guild employs players to collect arcane tomes that are scattered across Tamriel. Subsequently, the Mages Guild works strongly against all forms of necromancy. They're cool guys. Also, the Mages Guild will allow players to purchase runes from them to assist them in combat. Runes are items that allow players to lay down magical traps. Anyone can obtain them regardless of class, but they're sorcerer-specific runes, and they are more expensive, and will give mages the ability to lay traps and protect to help make them powerful characters in both PvE and PvP. One in particular called Daedric Mines, which drops 3 runes in front of you, and when the enemies run over it, they are immobilized, allowing the player to attack them unchallenged.
So you have to be a sorcerer to actually carry a rune called the Daedric Mines.
Oh, and one task that the Mages Guild will have be the ability to collect lore books. Collecting them and turning them in will give you reputation with the Mages Guild.
One thing I've noticed is they have released a lot of information about the Mages Guild, but I haven't seen a lot of information about the Fighters Guild.
Other than fighting, Dark Anchors.
I've already heard about runes in ties with the Mages Guild, about necromancy, and I guess the reason is because Lord Mannimarco, you know, he's the great necromancer for Molag Bal, and I suppose that's why the Mages Guild is probably going to play a bigger role in Elder Scrolls Online, in my opinion.
Yeah, it just goes along with the story a little bit more. Maybe another expansion, but we all know mages are awesome, so...
Well, some mages, unlike Abner Tharn. It's not all that cool of a mage, guys. Thanks you guys for watching, and we'll catch you next one.
Hold up. Contest details.
Crap.
See, now, if there was a lot of viewers that were smart, they would actually just skip to the end. Alright, guys. You don't have to wait anymore. Sorry for Human Overclock making you guys wait.
Sorry.
Here's the details regarding the contest. Leave a constructive comment below regarding the Elder Scrolls Online, and we will go through them and pick the one we like the best. The chosen commenter will win a digital copy of Witcher 2 on Steam. So there are 2 requirements. You'll have to have a Steam account and a constructive comment regarding ESO. Pretty easy.
Yeah, and we will be announcing the winner in our next Elder Scrolls Off the Tongue. I already got my comment up.
You already been disqualified.
Thanks again for watching. This has been RatzCast.
I'm going to go make some more chicken nuggets.
What is it with you and chicken nuggets?
They're awesome, man. I'm loving them right now. But guys, thank you. This is Stench.
And this is Human Overclock.
For RatzCast. Thank you.